Caravans, tomorrow's news today.
We've had a crisis at our southern border for quite a long time, but according to Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan, the crisis has reached a breaking point for our immigration system. The entirety of the southern border has had a lot of issues with illegal immigrations and illegal crossings happening all the way through from California all the way through to Texas to the Gulf of Mexico. But the problem has been especially heightened at certain points like El Paso specifically, which has been plagued by recent influxes of Mexican immigrants as well as South American immigrants coming up in the caravans we've all heard so much about. The commissioner said border officers took more than 12,000 migrants into custody in the past 2 mornings. Over 12,000 in the past 2 mornings. He also said that 4,000 to 6,000 is crisis level. 12,000 is unprecedented. At this pace, they are now on track to have over 100,000 apprehensions with 90% crossing between ports of entry. This means that 10% of these 100,000 in the next month, this is what they're on track to get over the next month, 90% of those will happen crossing the border where there is no checkpoint. There's not a way for people to just drive through. You can't show your passport. There's nothing. This is crossing over the Rio Grande. It's crossing in the deserts of Arizona, California, etc., where they're just walking across the border trying to get past Border Patrol agents. Now, the problem doesn't stop there. We've heard that we have record low crossings and stuff earlier in Trump's presidency. That is no longer true. We now, as the commissioner has said, we have record high crossings. They've never seen anything like this. It's totally unprecedented to see 12,000 apprehensions in 2 days. That's just apprehensions. We don't even know about the people who have made it across undetected. Even worse, however, is how many migrants have been released back into the American population in American cities by the government. We've heard a lot about the catch and release program over the past few years with President Donald Trump talking an awful lot about it during the campaign, saying he'd end it, talking about it during his presidency, saying that he would end it. He signed a memo last April saying that we would end the catch and release program. He also tweeted not long ago, in the grand scheme of things, he tweeted that catch and release was an obsolete term, that we would no longer be using that. It would be catch and detain because people that were caught at the border would be caught and detained. Now, it's a little bit redundant. When you catch somebody, they are detained. That's what happens. You are caught, you're detained, you're processed, and then you're released later. The idea of catch and release is that migrants are caught at the border, they are detained, they are processed, and then they are brought to American cities, and they're dropped off there where they are told their court date. They say, meet back at the courthouse on this date where you will be tried for the illegal crime of crossing the border without the proper paperwork and documentation. At that point, they would be arrested because obviously they're guilty, and they would be deported back to their home country. Obviously, that doesn't happen. This is the entire problem with catch and release, the fact that they are caught, they're released back into America, and they disappear. They disappear into the crowds. They're never seen again. Maybe they're seen again later if they commit a crime, but by and large, they just fall back into the system and they're fine. They get away with it. They don't show up for their court date, and therefore they are not deported. Donald Trump says that we've gotten rid of this. He said that we are continuing to get rid of this, but that's not the case. According to the ICE union, 24,000 illegals have been released by DHS in the past 2 weeks. 24,000 have been released in the past 2 weeks. You thought that 12,000 was a high number of detainees at the border? 24,000, double that, have been released in the past 2 weeks into American cities, which formally crossed the border. Catch and release is a very dangerous program. Many of the illegal immigrants, the aliens which have been caught and released back into American cities, have gone on to commit crimes, to commit murders, to end the lives of American citizens, if not harming them, robbing them, mugging them, etc. This, much like the wall, is one of the areas in which we've heard a lot of talk from Donald Trump. We say, oh, catch and release has ended, yet it continues. Much like we heard, oh, the border wall is already being built, yet it's not being built. We have very few moments of good news lately on border security. President Trump is doing okay in other regards with jobs and other things, but we have to continue to hound him on his border security promises. We need the wall, we need border security, end catch and release, end birthright immigration, birthright citizenship and chain family migration, that is. the diversity lottery. We need to end these things like he promised that he would do. Luckily, recently there has been a news come out that we will have $1 million from the Pentagon to build about 57 miles of 18-foot fencing. That's not the 30-foot wall that we want, but it's better than nothing. $1 million for 57 miles of wall. That's all that we can afford. So while that is good news, we do need more. The president has followed through in some areas. We need him to follow through in all of them to the best of his ability. We know that he's under a lot of pressure, but we have to continue to push him. Now that the Mueller report is out and the president is effectively totally exonerated, there is no Russian collusion. There's no threat of impeachment for that reason. That should be a signal that he can take the leash off and he can go after these promises which he so strongly committed to in the campaign and throughout his presidency. My name is Jake Lloyd, reporting for NewsWars.com.
InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
Support good oral health with our one-of-a-kind Super Blue fluoride-free products. InfoWars Life brings you a revolutionary toothpaste blend with iodine and nano silver designed to deliver a powerful clean. Enjoy a minty fresh flavor made with peppermint oil or try our bubblegum flavor. Pair this groundbreaking toothpaste with the Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and supercharge your oral health. Our amazing mouthwash features natural oils and ancient ingredients used since Aboriginal and biblical times. Instead of containing fluoride, our Super Blue line is loaded with the good halogen iodine and an array of other beneficial compounds that have been hand-selected for their oral health benefits. Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and toothpaste are the first and only to contain all of these natural ingredients: xylitol, nano silver, and iodine. Notice the difference with our Super Blue fluoride-free products. Refresh your breath and invigorate your oral health routine at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com.